Man, it feels good to wake up into a world where we know when the Nintendo Direct is coming. Good morning, Mario, and good morning, Switch fans. It was like a symphony all night long with everybody beautifully playing the tunes to tell us, yes, it's true. June 29th is the day for you. This is the big one, and I cannot wait. Plus, we got interesting stuff to talk about with Hollow Knight, Sonic, and more. Silk Song. A lot of songs today. What's the theme Monday? I guess it's to sing, so make sure to hit that like button if you're singing along with me, pumped for what is to come, and let me know what you think in the comments down below. Yes, yesterday we broke the news that Alana Pierce said a Nintendo Direct would be June 29th. Friends, on June 29th or any day, grab a Lexar Play card, all right? This is the best memory card for your Nintendo Switch. Good people over there, they do good work. They make the safest, fastest, bestest memory card that gets the biggest, because these go up to 1 terabyte in size. Make sure to click the link in the description down below to check them out if you need more storage for your Switch. Every time you click the link, it helps out SwitchForce, which is super cool, and I just love the little card that can. Some people since question this, like, how does random Sony employee know when Nintendo Direct is? But again, Alana was in the journalism hosting space for many years, and she's a very respected, well-known figure in that space, so I'm sure her connections are very vast. She worked at IGN for a long time, she's worked hosting many of the major award-type shows, and she now is embedded in development as well. So she has a lot of friends, a lot of familiar faces, and it just was Summer Game Fest. So I'm sure she was talking with a bunch of different people from a bunch of different companies and seems to know exactly when this is going to take place. But if you don't take her word for it, then take VGC, because Video Games Chronicle came out with a story saying, yep, Alana says June 29th, and that is what we've been told as well. We've heard Nintendo is planning a Direct for the end of the month. Boom, lock it in. And then Nate Drake chimed in as well with the cool Elmo emoji gif, and also said yes, that there never was a Direct plan for any earlier. It's always been the end of the month. Now, what's odd here is that June 29th is also Nintendo's investor call. So depending on time zones and when it takes place, like, you'd imagine they want the Direct to happen right before that investor call, right? They want to announce the new games and kind of get their lineup scheduled before they have to speak with all of the shareholders. It would be awkward to have that meeting first and then be like, we got stuff coming, but we can't tell you, but we want to tell you, but it'll spoil it. So I expect this to maybe just work out, so whenever their call is, the Direct is going to be like immediately before. Now, if it is Wednesday, June 29th, you will hear an announcement on Monday, June 27th. People are saying don't expect any early announcement, that Nintendo will do sort of the traditional non-E3 48-hour in advance notice, but you can mark off June 29th as the big day. And yes, I guess this makes a lot of sense. Strikers is out, Fire Emblem 3 Hopes is out, and Summer Game Fest is a mess of the past, and now they're just ready to reveal what they have to show. And, you know, I think everyone thought, myself included, based on different sources, different things, that it would be the week of now, that it would be this week, June 15th. It kind of lines up with their past patterns. There were different things that made a lot of sense, and it just did not come to be. So I will take the L on that one, but hey, it is a W for everybody that we're still getting a Nintendo Direct, because the worst case scenario is that we got none. And June 29th, as late as it may be, the latest June Direct ever, is still so much better than no Direct. So we've got about 2 weeks to prep for this, but it's going to be good. And I think the fact that they're getting games and such out the way allows for this to be an even bigger, better show. And maybe there will be a little Hornet along for the ride, because let's get to something a bit more speculative, all right? Hollow Knight Silksong appeared yesterday at the Xbox Showcase, and it might have been the most exciting moment of the entire show. Yes, I'm looking at you, Starfield. Hollow Knight, little bug, might have beat your big 1,000-planet space, because this game has been so anticipated. My goodness, we've been waiting for so long, and they did us dirty again with no release date. But this is where it gets really interesting, because Nintendo was typically aligned with Hollow Knight, because initially Silksong was PC and Switch. We now know that Silksong is on Xbox Game Pass day one, but mysteriously no date. And then if you take a look at this graphic, at the end of Microsoft's showcase, they highlighted all of the release windows for all of the games they showed, including games previously announced and games from other publishers, and yet Hollow Knight Silksong was the only game absent. Very, very odd. Now, you could say, well, maybe Team Cherry just doesn't know when it's going to release, but Xbox also said that everything shown in yesterday's presentation would be out within 12 months, meaning out before June 12, 2023. And the Xbox official Twitter account was asked directly, does this apply to Hollow Knight Silksong as well? And the Xbox Twitter account replied, yes, that's what we said. Everything that was shown will be out within a year's time. That would mean they could have easily put Silksong in the end show graphic for 2022 or to be saved 2023, but they didn't. And so here's where my mind started to whir a bit. Nintendo probably still wants something to do with Hollow Knight. If you remember, the original Hollow Knight stealth dropped at a Nintendo Direct. That was a really cool moment. Obviously, it's been out on other platforms, but we were really eager for it to come to Switch. Silksong is a big deal for Nintendo. It was shown off at the Nintendo booth, E3 2019. It was shown off in Nintendo's presentations, and we expected it to return in maybe this Nintendo Direct. And I think that it might actually return. Even though Xbox kind of got the first piece of the puzzle, the release date could definitely be a Nintendo Direct surprise. Could it be a stealth drop? That would be mind-bogglingly awesome. It would set the industry on fire. I don't think it'll happen. The game is too big at this point. Like, we're talking multiple million units. Hollow Knight 1 sold over 2 million, and this game could potentially do more with how many Switches are out there, how much notoriety this franchise now has, and this specific game is just, there's so much energy around it. So Nintendo could capitalize on that and announce a release date, maybe for this holiday, maybe for early next year. We do not know. I think it could be either. I think the game looked perfect in this trailer. I mean, you're seeing it. That's some sexy bug slashing, squirting action of the bug's blood all over the screen. Very dark game. Love the evil look. Anyhow, I think it's going to show up at the Nintendo Direct with a date. I think that's where it is bug squirting. Maybe that wasn't the best phrasing. Editor Gabe, do you want to cut that? Leave it up to you. Anyways, a date at Nintendo Direct, because why else would they not have shown it? Unless that date was something super special. They could have just put it in the 2023 slide. I don't know. It seems very mysterious that that's the only game that did not get slotted in a calendar year, yet they confirmed it was coming out, yet they didn't show it. So stay tuned for the Nintendo Direct. Maybe on June 29th, we'll find out exactly when Hornet and Silksong will finally land for us to play. Speaking of playing, Team Sonic is playing around with their words. Sonic Frontiers has not been received all that well. I'm sure you know, I puked at it, and other people have said it doesn't look all that hot. Seems like it's very rough. But Team Sonic apparently has an answer for all of this. And they say they are not delaying the game. No delay for Sonic. It will be out this holiday season. They say the negative feedback isn't really that surprising because fans don't understand. They just don't understand, man. This game is too cool for you to get. Sega says that they don't understand what this new gameplay is, and they're comparing it to other games that they already know. So we see a lot of people saying, oh, it's kind of like this, it's kind of like that, but it's not like this, and it's not like that. Open zone format is a new kind of game. Apparently a slow, boring, circle drawing kind of game. Now, obviously, Sega has to defend their game, right? They have spent tons of time on this, tons of money. But I think it's a little weird, a little presumptuous to say that the fans just don't understand it because it's a new kind of game. I think we're plenty aware what kind of game this is. Even if you want to use a buzzword like open zone, we've played plenty of open world games. And we know what a Sonic game is. We know what a 3D Sonic game is. It's not like this is the first foray into the third dimension. So to say like, oh, they're comparing it. Well, the reason we're comparing it is because it doesn't look as good. And so if you're trying to tell me that this exists in its own open zone genre so that you can say it's better than games in the open world genre because it's not the same, then fine, I guess. But maybe it's just that the open zone genre isn't a really hot genre. Maybe it's just not a really good genre. All right, they apparently say they've seen a lot of good feedback, great feedback even, from people who rate the game and are like, I'd give it a 90 out of 100. Who, Sega? Who, Sega? They say we're feeling like we're getting to that point where the game is done, people will like it, and we want to get that game into our hands, fans, as soon as possible. There will not be any day, yada, yada, yada. PR speak, obviously, yes, you got to spin it the way that makes your shareholders happy and that doesn't make your team panic, but I think that somewhere deep down, at least some people on the team have to realize, oh crap, this was not received how we wanted, open zone or whatever, we thought people would like this more. And maybe it's just me, but it's a weird take to say that fans don't understand the game. Because even if we didn't, which I think we do, but even if we didn't, isn't it their job to show us? And they've had gameplay, trailers, presentations, impressions. Like, they've had so many opportunities to explain, to make us understand. So even if we don't get it, they're not doing a really good job fixing that. I don't know. I think Sonic Frontiers is going to be a very bizarre release later this year. I feel like it's going to be a game that has a bit of a cult following, maybe gets really mediocre review scores, but some people love it because it is this open Sonic and it does have a beautiful world and it has a speedometer and it has leveling up. But I think all in all, I think Sega's kidding themselves a little bit here, and I think they need to kind of open their eyes, and maybe they are, and maybe this is just PR. But yeah, the fans, we just don't understand. Now, my friends, I gotta tell you, I think you're not understanding something about this week, okay? Because in yesterday's poll, I asked, are you getting any of the cool Nintendo Switch games coming out this week? And nobody is getting the coolest Nintendo Switch game coming out this week. Yes, 29% are picking up TMNT, and that is gonna be really cool, I think. A lot of childhood nostalgia there. I'm a Donatello main. Let's cowabunga, dude. But Neon White has looked incredible from the beginning, and I'm hearing rumblings that it is living up. So when only 3% of you say you're interested in Neon White, I am worried, because this game seems like it is going to be special. And we will have coverage later this week. Neon White might be something you want to take a peek at. Maybe. I don't know. Trailers look good. Perhaps. Give it a shot. 66% say you're picking up neither, and I understand. Wait for reviews, see if it's really something you want to do, and maybe, save your money for that direct when you know the rest of the year's lineup. So I understand, but one of these games, at least, could be special. All right, y'all are special though, and I hope you're having a special Monday, and by that I mean a good start to your week. June 29th is the direct. You can calendar that off, you can take the day off, you can get prepped and ready, and we will party like it's June 15th, but instead it's June 29th. Everybody, have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you're staying safe, staying healthy, staying happy, staying positive out there, and until next time, my wonderful people, love you lots. SwitchForce, out.